My name is Ellen Russell and I'm an account manager here at Free Radio in Gen 106.
Okay, so can you tell us about your job, what you do on a day-to-day basis?
My job is to work with clients, so I have a set list of clients that I work with, but I also have to find new clients as well. Clients being commercial partners that we work with to entice revenue from. We're a commercial radio station, so we need money coming in to be able to fund the radio station. I then have a chat with them, understand those needs, and from that conversation, so I'm trained in questioning those clients to find out the right kinds of information rather than just going and having a nice chat and a cup of tea. I have to ask specific questions to find specific information out. I then come back to the office and I work with the team. Out here we've got 33 people in the commercial team. We all do very, very different jobs. And there's three sort of key departments. You've got account managers, you've got planning, that plan the airtime, if we choose the airtime is the right thing to do, or our CPI team, which is creative and promotions and interactive. From the information that I get from the client, I can work out what I feel from my experience of being a radio account manager, what elements we can bring and that will fulfill that client's needs. So for example, airtime advertising is very different to what a sponsorship could do or a promotion. We do Facebook apps, digital magazines, we do lots of different things, so it's my job to understand what element is best for that client.
What advice would you have to people who want to break into the industry, possibly working your job?
In my job, persistence. The reason why I got into this was I was at university, I was just finishing, and I had a bit of a taste of wanting to be able to have control over my income rather than having a job that just paid me a set amount of money every week or every month. I wanted to be able to have that ability to shift my income.
Okay, so first of all, what's your name and job title?
I'm Alan Wilborn and I'm the evening presenter on Free Radio.
And what's it like to be a presenter on a commercial radio station?
It's great fun, especially the job that I do. Being on in the evening, I get to play some more of the newer music and I get to get all the guests on, so any pop stars that we have in will come onto my show. So it's great fun and it doesn't really feel like work, to be honest. You know, you're just chatting to pop stars and talking about your favourite new music and then that's it, basically. It's lovely.
And what do you have to do for your show when you're not behind the mic?
So yeah, generally my preparation depends on whether or not I have a guest in. So the guests aren't obviously live on the show most of the time. So what will happen is, a bit like today, they'll come in the afternoon. So I'll spend an hour or so prepping some questions. So that includes, you know, looking at the bio that you get sent by record labels, looking up any newspaper articles that they've had on them recently and stalking them on Facebook and Twitter. And so that goes into the questioning. Then you have your interview with them. If you're going to air that, then you obviously have to edit that to be suitable for air. So you can't just put out, you know, a 10-minute interview. You should be chop it up, make it into sort of 3-minute segments maybe. Put a little note out on Facebook about that, and then the rest of the show is obviously we'll be talking about new songs I might be playing, or my personal favourite is talking about like videos and stuff that I found on the internet and showcasing it to other people. Or it could just be as simple as you've read a funny news story in the newspapers about a pop star and you want to sort of set that up and then deliver it. So by the time I go on air, my show will be prepared, so I'll know what I'm saying in every single link. I'll probably have put out a Facebook or a Twitter post to encourage people to listen, and I'll have edited all the interviews and then put a little thing about that. And I suppose the only other aspect that I have is I always personally like to make sure that all my production is in my show before I even go on air. So I don't have to worry about making sure that one song segues nicely into the next song. I can worry about what's going on air. So if something happens, or I get a call in, or I get a text in, I can react to that without thinking, oh, I've got to do this first. So I sort of over-prepare, if anything, for my show, just so I feel more comfortable when I'm actually on air.
And lastly, if you could offer any advice to people that want to break into the radio industry, what would you say to them?
I suppose it depends what they want to do. But my main thing would just be do anything to get in there. Obviously, if you want to be a presenter, don't go and be a producer, because you're setting up false expectations of yourself. But if you want to get into radio, there is always opportunities there for you to get into radio. You just have to be willing to do the hard work. You know, like I said, when I covered it quite quickly. I did 2 days a week, then 3 days a week. Then, you know, I worked for a year, 2 years, doing jobs that I didn't necessarily enjoy, just to get where I am, just to get that one opportunity to present on air. And I think as long as you have a focus and a goal of whatever you want to be, whether it's a producer, a presenter, person on the sales team, person on the marketing team, newsreader, whatever, you have to be willing to do the hard graft, because it's not a case of you knock on the door and they go, brilliant, you're just what we're searching for. You have to prove that you are an essential member of that team. Once you've proven that, then you're going to get the rewards. But you know, it's like most things, but I think even more so in the radio industry, is you don't get anywhere without hard graft and, you know, doing the hard yards initially to get where you want to be.